It's not catching it.
It don't work. This one won't work. Because I don't know what I have.
Well, why? Okay. I have no idea why.
You're not conscious of what negative and deep quick, and that doesn't make sense.
Okay. So,
That's alright. You can just figure it out when you only come but you go. But they like this. Cool.
okay.
I'll turn it to you like this.
Okay.
But for now, let me make it.
All right. We will make a start. Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to this live show where we talk about your purpose, your relationship, and your money, how they affect each other, and how we can create an amazing relationship, build financial freedom and wealth, and enjoy our lives making impact. So, tonight on the topic, we have the what redefining what wealth and wholeness is the topic that we will be discussing tonight. And I'll tell you where this came from. It stems from the conversation with women who have started, for obvious reasons, thinking that they are actually not worth enough. So some women have started relapsing into the fact that maybe really God created us to be very small, little, and not of equal value with our male counterparts. Maybe it's not just about submission, headship, leadership, and all the rest. It could be that God actually made us to be like under here and not full human beings. And that's very scary thought to have. And I can tell you that a lot of women that I have met are beginning to think that way. And it really scares me. If we tilt that way, what is life going to become? What's our society going to turn into? And that's the reason for today's conversation. It may be 10 women, it may be 15 women that I have had talking that what happens to the global women, what happens to the country, national women, what happens to women in large communities. What do you find when you now put 1,000 women in a room, when you put maybe 1 million women in a room? What do you find? If it gets to the point where people are now thinking of themselves so little like that, or meaning, like without meaning, then the children, the adults, the young, the old, everyone is going to suffer. It will be a very bad society to live in. Because if people don't have confidence, it's a lot of impacts that are negative that this could have on other people around them. So we will be talking about redefining what really means, especially for women. Is it just getting married and bearing somebody's name, or answering a married person? Is your worth all about the children you have? Is it all about the achievements you made in life? Say you have risen in career to the point of executive, or you have become a director, you are, is that really success? Is that what is defining what today? And is it about you earning a lot, having financial freedom, building wealth? Is wealth what defines you as a person? All of that, including becoming whole inside you, your soul, your spirit, your body, becoming healthy. When you get to that stage, is that the totality of who you have become? Or is there more to becoming a human being. That's the center of what we'll be talking about today. So please join us, bring your friends, your family, share this video to reach other people. Just share it to call them in to this conversation. And do please like the video. Put your comments, your questions. We would really like it to be interactive so that we also can learn from your wealth of experience and knowledge. Remember that whatever happens, we are here to learn to become better so that we can create amazing relationships, create financial independence and freedom, and then fulfill our purpose in life. So, I want you to put in the comments what you think about the topic. Do you think that the definition of wealth is in terms of who you have become by marriage, or the person, covering you as head for women? Or is it your wealth? Is it about who the healthiness of your soul, spirit, and body? Let us know in the comments section. So I will turn to Mr. Uche to find out what he thinks about this topic regarding women. What do you think?
I think the problem with this is when we lose our self-confidence, self-worth, and self-value. This is where the main story line changes, that people begin to think, do they really know who they are? It all boils down to realizing one's identity in the long run. From the perspective of a man, I was calmly listening to her introduction without trying to get my nerves racked up into trying to make some arguments or some defensive arguments, because our introduction, I want to correct the impression that somebody might think that is a feminist. No, it doesn't come across as feminist. But if I make that disclaimer now, that it may appear feminism, but that's not what it means. But I understand the introduction, and when you say we are there, these guys are there, should it be like that? So, and it's not like we're trying to rub shoulder with anybody. But let's start with the basic. God created all of us equal, but we're talking from the perspective of a Christian. He made all of us equal, same head, same hand, same everything. Just the difference that we have different. I have a flat boobs. She might have a big boobs as a woman, and my bum might be not big as a woman. As a woman, she has a different one, and some other things that make us look slightly different. But those alone are not the worth. The area we want to concentrate more today is what actually make people think they don't know their worth anymore, especially ladies. And it's to redefine that worth that you have is what we are talking about today. Because let's take it this way. If you believe you don't have worth, it will be difficult for you to make a meaningful impact in the life of whoever you are living, staying with, family, friend, career, anywhere it is. But when you understand your worth, you will now become able to transfer that to whosoever you are living with. So if you want to be seen as no good, think that you don't have worth. Think about your self-esteem. Think about your self-confidence. If those things are not pumped up to come up, it will be sickening living with such person, doing business with them, because every little thing, they will be like, oh, poor me, oh, poor me. And that aspect of poor me is the area that I believe this is where the problem is coming from. So if we think about it in this aspect, we now want to find about what makes people poor me. Why do some women say poor me? She did make an introduction that most of the thing would be because people want somebody they will rely on financially. If you haven't listened to that video, she made a video about that, talking about what was it called? The things that people think, why should I rely on them? I don't know the title of that video, but she might be able to tell us a bit about it later. So we talked about other points whereby many women believe they really want somebody they will rely on financially. And that alone is knocking off their self-confidence, their self-worth, their self-esteem. But apart from that, one thing that I think make people believe, most women believe that their self-worth is affected, is the impact that the society, the culture we find ourselves, has made it so. And it's time to change the status quo, not in an opposing feministic view, but to make women and people understand that even though that it is kind of generally, culturally seen that this is how it should be, but people should rank, know their self-worth. So we have to start by the society which have made it so, by teaching our little ones from the primary school time to say, this is your worth. I tell you one thing, my twin, the girl will always say to her brother, whenever she finished dressing up, she said to her brother, do I look cool? Do I look cool? If her brother said to her, nah, I don't like it, she will remove it. And you'll be shocked that maybe that will be one of her best clothes, a new clothes she has, and you bought it for her. She's going to church. She needs to get validation from her brother. So one day I sat her down up there and I said to her, whatever you are wearing, mommy or daddy bought for you, they are nice. It's good you share with your brother, but if your brother say they don't look cool, and mommy and daddy say to you they look cool, and you yourself, what do you think? I asked her, what do you think? She said, oh, it's okay. But my brother says it's not okay. So she wants to yank it off. I pull it down and I start to encourage to tell her that, well, it's okay. You can. So I'm going by the culture. The society has made it this way. We'll start from primary, from this little age, start telling them what you have is okay. Your worth is up there. Don't let the society change the status quo, because this is what the society has made it, whether it's Western, Asian, or wherever we find yourself. Unfortunately, that's what the society made it. But we have to start from the grassroots to change that view so that people will know their worth, especially the ladies.
Thank you very much for that elaborate explanation. That's exactly our goal and what we intend to achieve by this life, making sure that we reach a lot of women as possible and helping them to redefine their worth. We will later on go into redefining what wealth means to them and what being whole as a person also should mean to them. But today we will be concentrating on their worth, because I have found that a lot of people, their worth, how they refer to themselves, what they mean to themselves, how they see themselves, that has gone really down. And with the trending relationship issues today, everything keep going down. You see people dress up and make up and come out, but they are really not well. Mentally, they are down. Emotionally and psychologically, they are down. All they are hearing in their head is that they are worth nothing, they are nobody, they can't do anything, they can't achieve anything, there is no need, there are no use for them, and all of that. And then a lot of people, this is keeping them in a toxic relationship, because they have been told that if you leave, no one will take you, you will amount to nothing, you cannot help yourself, where are you going to go? And all the rest of those societal, religious, cultural, family influences, that what it is doing in people, it keep helping to reduce their worth and confidence. So should it be so? The answer is no. It should not at all be so. And that's why we want to make sure that many women as possible get to hear that in the beginning, it was not so. And it can still be remedied. That you wake up and tell yourself that you are worth something. Look, marriage is not what defines the real you, who you are. Marriage is just a means for you to achieve your purpose. One of the purpose of marriage is something that you will have to look into. You are not made to come and enter into an institution where everything about you is stripped off and there was no more use for you. You are supposed to be empowered by that marriage relationship to now get higher and become a better person and make more impact and influence. That's what it's supposed to do. So marriage in itself, that you're answering Mrs., is not really your identity. It is just a title. And before that and after that, in between that, you are somebody. That someone is what you need to find, you need to redefine, and then make it, own it. That's what you need to do. If you are thinking that, well, I used to be this, I used to be that, now I don't even know who I am, then this life is for you. You will need to, after this life, make sure that you go away and take yourself to some solitary place to think, reflect on your life, get some help, find someone to hold your hand and help you to find out exactly, apart from marriage, apart from children, apart from that job, apart from those investments, apart from that wealth, that particular object, that thing that you are, that people will see and identify you with, apart from your friends, apart from all of that, who really are you? You need to find that out, because the moment you do, then you are going to see truly that you are not what you are constantly being called. For those that are going through verbal abuse, that's not really who you are, and that those things that are said of you that has constantly pulled you down until you don't even remember who you are, that they are not true, that there is a better you that you need to rediscover and give a meaning to. Once you do that, you will fly. You will do a whole lot. Even a lot of people are going to benefit from your being. They will benefit from your life, from you just being around, because you're going to do a whole lot for yourself, people around you. You will mean a lot. You will be more useful. You will be more impactful. So why throw all of that away because of one concept? Why does being married have to define you? Is what I am still asking. And I don't know why it is put in some people's head that no matter what you become, unless you are married or coupled up, unless there is a man over you, that you are really not worth nothing. So maybe this is part of why people are languishing in this kind of lies and deceit. So what should be the way out is what we have been talking about. Find yourself, find who you are. Let that identity spring up and show forth. When you see it before you, you can become more confident and think of yourself as being worthy. That's where you have to get to, because the rest will be so easy at that point. So let's hear from you again.
But that think about yourself and be kind to yourself is one of the area that I like to talk about in most sections. It is the part of the behavioral attitude that people has to handle, that at some point we tend to pay less attention to it. That note is what we call a positivism. So if people are fixed with behavior that makes them think, oh, why is that happening to me? Should that actually be okay? Hey, we all make mistakes in life. We all do things that we really shouldn't have done. But when you come to the realization that I actually shouldn't have done that, it's okay to forgive yourself and move on. But if you continue in that particular station that Oh, I actually shouldn't done that. The deed has been done. The milk has been spilled. You can't take it back. So in that state, you live the negativism part of life. So it's all about staying positive, being positive in things that has happened to you, and say, do you know what? Yes, it happened before, but that wouldn't push me back moving forward. And the easier way I say it in most section is write down the few things you have done before, the real good things you've done to people before, all the help, all the support you've given to people before, solicited and unsolicited. If you're able to write up to 5, then make sure you write about 2 things that you've let yourself down on. Now, compare the 5 that you have done so great on. Amplify those 5 the more daily. The more you amplify those 5, the other 2 will go mute. And when they go mute, they go out of your subconscious. You won't be remembering them again. That is psychology. But if you keep raising them up again over and over and over and over, it starts disturbing you. And when the mental state of anyone is disturbed, self-worth goes down the drain. And for you to redefine that, it will be easier if you could, again, I would like to say it again, if you could take a pen, write down a few things you've done great in, that you are proud of, achievement you've accomplished, whether to people or to yourself, then that'll be okay. Some days I get bored down with similar things like that. What do I write? The things I've done before, because I never believe I will even go back to university after losing my dad as a teen. But when things about life start hitting me so hard, I will start thinking, anyway, I have never had the mind that will ever have a degree. Oh, that is now things of the past. When issues of being losing my identity comes back to me, I will remember things that I used to knock it off. And that area, it helped. It worked for me. We all are in progress, work in progress in most things. But when you refuse and stop trying hard on how to get off to redefine your worth, the things that will tell you you want nothing will keep coming to you all the day. And you see them all the day. Even little things will trigger you. Say, for example, you are driving.
Tacha is here. Hello, Tacha.
All of a sudden,
welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Someone pull up in front of you, and they are they're in a tight corner, wanted to join the road. You look through your mirror, realize you can allow them, you slow down, and they get in. As soon as they get in, typical me, I will expect them to say, thank you, put on their double hazard to say, thank you. If that didn't happen, you start getting angry. Say, why is he not being grateful? Maybe it's because I'm rubbish in life. People don't want to appreciate all the things I'm doing for them. You know, that particular incident will now go and trigger the past things that has happened to you before, and you begin to dwell on them. As you drive, God help you, you may not have a collision with something, but working around those things, because as soon as you live here now, a lot of things will come your way that will make you feel you don't want it. But it's all about overcoming them with the positive side of life. Has been so effective, and I applaud, enjoy, and encourage. Try that section. I say sector. I don't know how that grammar is. Try that process.
Okay, so
can I not speak Igbo here? Why not?
Okay, guys. So I'm sure that you got the point, and that anyone, sometimes when we have these talks, it will look as if why are they talking about this? Why are they talking about this? Who today is feeling like that? Who cannot deal with this and that? See, a lot of people are in those situations. There are real life situations where people, in fact, there are worst case scenarios that when you hear them, you will be wondering, where have these people been? So it is true that people are losing their sense of worth. That is true. The degree to which it's happening is also very high. And people are beginning to also think that maybe that's how they will be. So that's the scary part, that people have been conditioned to think, by human beings, they are conditioned to think that, okay, maybe it's true that they are really worth nothing. Maybe it's true that they are nobody. Maybe this is just their fate. Some people will say, well, it's my destiny. Who says so? Who said so? So you just need to get into the circles where you will hear the truth, and so that you will start healing and becoming who you should become. If you sit down and think that that's how you're going to be the rest of your life, then what we are talking about will elude you, because in that state of mind, people cannot create amazing relationships, definitely. They will not also become financially independent, because they won't be able to make money. Thirdly, fulfillment will be far from them. Joy will be far from them,
Yeah.
because most of the day they are busy wallowing in self-pity, wondering, why them? Why me? Why me? So they need to get to a point where they will get up, dust themselves, and brace up to the fact that this is not who they are, and they need to put who they should be or who they are before them continually, like standing in a mirror, until they become that, or until it becomes clear to them. They manifest it and start experiencing it. That's what we would like for the number of women that are in this situation. Now, someone may be wondering, how come they are in that state? What happened? Why will anybody think that they are worth nothing? Why will anybody actually believe that there is no use to them? Why will anybody think they are less human than the rest of others? See, a lot of abuse is going on, and people are allowing themselves to be abused for a long period of time. And that's why, if you're looking for an answer, that's part of why. The upbringing, what you are told growing up, how you are treated as a child, and all the rest is part of it. But mainly is that people get involved with the wrong person. Sometimes what could have been the right person, but things change, influences, whether human influence, societal influence, religious influence, family influence, even demonic influence. All of them happened, and someone had now is starting to live in the environment they didn't bargain for. Should they remain there? No. You have to make sure that you guard your heart, so that those kind of verbal abuse, those, mental abuse, all of those physical abuse, all of those things, that they don't get you to the point where you are doubting your real self, where you are believing what someone is saying about who you are, when they are not the ones that made you. God made you. He made you whole. He made you enough in yourself. And he made you that you can do a whole lot more. Why don't you wake up and make sure that all of these things we are mentioning, including your relationship, is not the thing that tells you who you are? Because you are more than all of that. That's what we are talking about. We are not addressing women alone. We are not talking and having this conversation with women alone. So somebody God doesn't get the wrong idea. That's because there are a number of men also that are in that state, because of the situation they found themselves. Unfortunately, a lot of the times is either is the way they were raised, by who they were raised, and mostly also because of relationship. And people get to a point where they are downtrodden, looked down on, insulted, abused, to the level that they are wondering, who am I? Maybe I am just who they said I am. Maybe they are true. That whether you're a man or a woman, that is what we want to bring to your notice. We want to bring it to your mind to make awareness so that you will start thinking today that, oh, I thought that that's really all there is to me. So, what I'm hearing today, there may be more to me and who I am. I'm happy and willing to go and discover it and find it out. Maybe I was right. Maybe the way I was before this relationship, maybe the way I was before I started this job, before I became an employee under this manager, maybe the way I was before I traveled to this country, maybe that's the true me. And this one is not me. That's why we are having the conversation. So in case you fall into any of this category, not that we are stereotyping or labeling anyone, but a lot of people are down. You see them, you thought you are looking at human beings, but they are nearly, they have lost everything. They are just sometimes walking corpses. So let's look into it and see how we can recover who we are, discover ourselves again, and start building our self-worth and start building confidence so that we can get to the point of creating amazing relationships, building wealth or creating financial independence, a life that is free of financial stress, a life that does not worry about money, and also making impact to get that fulfillment that we truly deserve and seek. So, if there is anyone in the comments that have any question or contributions, please, this is the time to share with us your experience. Has something happened that made you look down on yourself, or you've been looked down on by another person? Maybe someone you read that is very dear to you, very close to you, and someone you trusted, and now you are turning around and believing what they are saying about you, because if not, why not? They must be right. Is that true? If it is, this is a wake-up call to you to know that it is not. That was a lie. And the truth is that you are worth more than you think, and that God made you very whole. That's what we are talking about. So, Tasha, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? I hope you are doing okay with your family. Welcome again, always here. Very, very true and faithful. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate your joining us. I'm sure that by now you know that. Thank you very much. So,
Right. Indeed, God made us whole. God has made us whole already, and we are whole. The understanding of that wholeness now depends on two things. One, your perception about your wholeness, and the secondary auditory of your wholeness from people who are external. So on that note, that I'm introducing the concept of parental misconstructive way of speaking to children. You see, most parents find it constantly negatively criticizing their child or their children. Don't get me wrong. Every parent has the right to tell the child off when they've done something wrong, correct the child. But there's a link between frequently and always saying things about that child that is negative. If that child grows up with that interpersonal trauma stays right inside them, they will struggle to believe that they are good. Because if their own parent, the person who brought them to this world, will say to them, This is how it works. We'll say to you, you're not good. Always telling you off, criticizing you. If nothing you will do, they will applaud. Then they will believe that the situation is correct. But that is what their parents keep saying to them. So coming to the concept that most of us are parents here, we want to use this opportunity to say there is a way we could criticize children. It will mix their mindset up. That even they themselves will start doubting themselves, who they are. When they go outside, if people say that to them again, you have endorsed it, and they know, yeah, this is who I am. They will struggle to come out from that shell that you've thrown them in. It is something most of us do. Most parents do this. They believe, I don't want to praise him too much so he doesn't think he's too good and start flaunting it everywhere. So I'll keep saying, nah, so that he will improve. Hey, it's not good now. It's not good. You could give a little bit of praise, but people raise children differently. I think that idea must have come from hell, because God expects us to praise him. Even in all situations, he say, praise me, give me thanks. So how about our own children, that there's nothing good we could say about them? And when this started playing up in their head, they take it all around their way and they grow to become people who don't appreciate themselves. Nothing people will do to them that they will even appreciate, because already they've been hearing it from the very little stage that this is what it is. This is not only to parents. Some caregivers out there still do the same thing to children. Children who are put to them into foster care or other supported living accommodation, you see a way you are there to guide that child. Most caregivers will always talk ill about that particular child. This child is relying on you completely. They may not know who their biological or whoever their parents are. So whatever you say to them, they will accept it. So they're looking up to you. Don't fall their hand down by criticizing them constantly. I know some children can be hard work, but again, pulling them down with not being appreciative of that, of what they are doing around the house or other things, you are also making their self-worth down. And when they grow up, picking it up will become hard for them, because from the home, they've been told, you're not good. You can't even pass. I had one who said something to me. He said it's becoming difficult to pass his A levels now. At the school, every of the subjects, he's given this particular option that he must pass all the A levels, all the GCSE and A levels. And he's a bright child, but he just can't cope. When he finished, his first result wasn't too good, and the father was really angry. And I said, why on earth can you have such results? Where did you get such brain from? You are not like me. You are not like your mom. Where did you get such brain from? All of a sudden, he started thinking, you know what? Since I'm not like you, I'm not like my mom, I think maybe you're not my biological father or my biological parents. Not long, the child left the house at the age of 14, saying he wants to look for his parents. And the police brought him back and said, that is your home. He said, no, they're not my parents. He stopped going to school. Now, did the parents achieve what they want to do to kind of talk him into buckle up and go back to school? He stopped going to school. The last time I checked, I believe he just doesn't want to go to school anymore. Now that stays in his room. And from there now, he's going to become mental health, depression, trauma. These are things people do to their children by a way of trying to think, I don't want to praise too much, let him wake up. You do it wrongly, and now the child becomes wrong. That is my own suggestion.
Okay, so these things are issues that we find in families. This is family life, by the way.
Yeah.
And with family life comes all of these challenges and a whole lot of good things that people should be proud of. Good things, successes, results, all of them mixed together. It's just that as human beings, we want more of success than challenges. And that's why it seems that we are talking about, like, talking ourselves out of challenges. So don't think that we are also learning as we are talking about these things, because we are also in families and we have families, and these things are just normal way, the normal living that people have, and how they deal with challenges, so that you don't sit down there and think, oh, they've got it all around. No, that we are talking about it doesn't mean that we are not learning from your comments, from your experiences and all that. When it comes to the issue of family and relationship, I will say that my own experience is that it is very unique to different people. It is not the same thing for every home. It's not the same for every family or every relationship. The dynamics are there. And that's why it looks as if you can't really give a you can't give a blanket advice when it comes to relationship and family. You just have to make sure that you follow the context so that you can arrive at a strategy, a plan, and something, that framework that will work for that particular family. You can't pull everybody together and give them one, blanket or basket of advice. No, because these things are different based on individuals and their behaviors, their mindsets, their temperaments, their religions, and cultural beliefs, and the rest of them. Academic, professionalism, academic pursuits, or levels that they have attained in education also play a role in making sure that these challenges are more minute than they are today. So what we are trying to do is not that challenges will not be, but we are just minimizing them, making sure that they don't overtake us to the point where we now start living as if we are not human beings. So that's what we are doing. And if all of these challenges are there, and we are finding a lot of people, especially women, that are relapsing into the point they think that they can help, that their contribution is not needed and not wanted and not needful, what are we going to do? So if you are out there and any of these things concern you, no one is judging anyone, but we want to all get better at living our family lives, in our relationships, and while we are creating an environment where money is not a thing to complain about or worry about. So I don't know what you guys think in the comments. Do you have anyone that is in that state, man or woman? Do you know anyone that is stuck thinking, well, this is just where it's going to, how I'm going to end my life? I will just continue, no effort made until what brought man takes man. Like that. If you know of such, please do share with us. Or if it has happened to you and maybe you have recovered, overcame it,
Yeah.
that's the kind of stories we want to hear, because those success stories also, they are going to help a lot of other people to now have hope and know that they can still get out of that state. It's a terrible state to be in, where you tell yourself you are who you are not, just because other people said so, either by their action or in word. So let's hear the things that we have experienced at the comments, or just send us a DM elaborating on it, or if you want us to talk about any of these challenges, any of these things, then let us also know by sending a DM or in the comments, so that we can also come another day to create more awareness on this and help many people, especially women, to get up and redefine what really is and means to them, so that we can have a better society. Thank you, everyone. Anything else that
Yeah,
you want to add
to
before we
close,
go? Yeah.
in close, it's important to remember that the feeling of worthlessness could be an underlying sign of mental health illness, especially if they are persistent. One of feeling of worthlessness wouldn't be a problem. But when the feeling of worthlessness become persistence, it is a sign that a mental health illness is underlying. And if you feel that way, there are chances that you need to speak to your GP. If you don't know how to approach any of them and you felt, oh, it's going to be difficult, they wouldn't listen to me, we have mental health practitioners that could support you. I am one of them. We could support you into finding out what type of help that you will need. And other things might be just finding a buddy app around you. These days, there are a lot of apps there that can help people. But I'm not a fan of those apps sometimes because what the apps does to many people sometimes is they are kind of programmed situations. But there's nothing like a one-to-one hand-holding technique where people will tell you this is what they see in practice, in clinical practice. This is the area they've seen people get progress, and you could try those areas. Sometimes what people need is just chatty buddy, and other times it might just be going out for a meal. Or it wouldn't be something really serious. But in the conclusion of what I'm saying is you need to shout out for help if you need one. Don't wait thinking that I just started feeling this way. I think it's going to go sometime. Sometimes they don't just go. You need help. And if you shout out for help, you don't know who to reach, send a DM to us. A member of our team will reach to you and will help you. Sometimes we run some sections that are free. You may plug into one of those sections and get help. Why not?
And if you don't want to reach out to us, just make sure that you reach out to someone, and let that someone be a professional. Let that someone be someone who is trained to help someone in your situation, or someone like you, someone that will not be judgmental, someone that will not be thinking of different things, but just with open mind help you through the situation. When he mentioned, like, don't stay there and be waiting for time, it just hit me that a lot of people stay and they realize that their self-worth is going down, that this environment is not really healthy for them, that their confidence had just gone so low being in this environment. It could be a place of work. A lot of times we don't talk about it much, but I have been in a place of work that demeaned me, that just a period of 1 year, the manager was changed and a new manager came, and just within 1 year, it's as if that everything I know about myself was all gone. I started losing my self-confidence. I started even wondering, who am I? And it got to a point where the doctors even told me to stop work and take a break. I was just fizzling out slowly, just because of one man that turned up to manage us. Just within 1 year, we are already going to hearings and appeals and all that. So it can be a place of work that is that environment that is reducing your self-esteem, your self-worth, your confidence. That it could be a marriage, it could be friendship, it could be a family where you attach yourself or you came out of. It could be just any environment. It could be even a church, a religious organization, could be a community. Whatever it is, just know today that you don't have to remain in such environments, and you don't have to mark time and wait that things could get better. Because yes, it could get better, but stay from a distance and then help for it to get better. You don't have to be the maybe the object of it becoming better. You don't have to be used for everyone else to, so that when it gets better, you are really gone. Everything about you is down. You don't want to do that. If you are in an environment where you are feeling like that, the best thing to do is to step away to a safer environment. And if it is a marriage or a relationship, we are not saying that, okay, you wake up and just file for divorce or something like that. But we are talking about your safety. And safety is not just physical, like if you are experiencing physical abuse. No. What about emotional abuse, which I find to be even worse than physical abuse? What about your mental health? If these things are affected, it's time for you to step aside while you walk from a safe place to make things right. So don't think that you have no choice, that you have to remain there. And let's also mention that there is no reason for you to be in that environment that is toxic. Don't do that. Don't give yourself any reason. And let no one talk you into believing any reason, because it is you, when you are whole, when you are alive, that will be able to do those things. And I say this because a lot of women in particular, tend to stay in such environment and say it's because of their children. We know that as much as that sounds really, really nice and sound like it's true, a lot of times it is not. And a lot of times those children are not even benefiting from you remaining in that environment. And who says that things cannot be remedied? It's just not healthy for you to be in it, and while you are being bruised, how can you heal already bruised wound? You can't. If you already have a wound, the best thing is to seal up the wound and give it time to heal. If you leave it open and every day something is touching it and scratching it, then the process of healing becomes impossible or a very, very challenging. So that's the same thing we are saying. If your heart is wounded, make sure that you get it healed and sealed up. Let it be just the scars remaining, if there is any. That's what we are saying, because you may not recover if you remain in that environment. I had to step out and resign from that job for me to feel this way I'm feeling today. And part of what the impact of that process and that job, I'm still healing from it, because healing takes time. And sometimes it's a long life, a lifetime process. And that's why you should not be in it for a long time. If you get damaged, then you will know the difference between someone who is whole and someone who is unhealthy. So we are going to wrap up on that and hope that next week we are going to continue to talk about other things that people think is really who they are, that are not exactly, and how they can redefine that particular area of their lives and move on to become a whole person by discovering who they are. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
And have a very good evening. Have a good night. Please share the video and like and comment. And we'll see you next time. Tasha, thank you. Oh,
Thanks, everyone.
I think Tasha went out and came in or something. So Tasha said, people need to learn how to be less shallow before anything else. And we agree with that statement. Thank you very much. It is true. It's just a process of learning and unlearning and learning again, because a lot of things we are fed with are not really the truth, especially today. So let's have the chat again next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. UK time, so that we can learn some more. And please join us. We also want to learn from you. You never can tell what your comments and your contributions can do to our own lives and our family. So join us and call your families and friends. Thank you again and have a very good night.
Good night, everyone. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming.
Bye, 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 bye. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, you do. Just